Hey there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, and wellness advocate, and today is an extra special day. Woo woo! Today is my 8-year anniversary of surviving Cymbalta and different medications that totally went haywire, but Cymbalta is the focus for today because 8 years ago on this day, I was sitting on death's doorstep. I was close to death. It was an extremely frightening experience, and the journey has taught me some really amazing life lessons. And so today's topic is Cymbalta free badass survivor. And so for anyone who wants to survive medications and the things that happen, that go wrong, all the medical mishaps, the toxicity, and the wicked withdrawals and long-term consequences of drugs that can turn your life into a living hell on earth. This is something extremely amazing, is that no matter how horrible your journey can be, no matter how many potholes we could find ourselves in, no matter how many hardships and different trials and valleys we go through in life, we could learn lessons through every single experience, including medications. And so today's topic is about my surviving Cymbalta, the withdrawals, the horrific aftermath that unraveled 8 years ago. And there's so many different videos I already have on YouTube pertaining to my Cymbalta story, my Cymbalta journey, different things to do with what your doctor may not tell you about Cymbalta, which is also known as duloxetine, and it's something your doctor may not tell you, but you really need to know. Feel free to check out those videos. Today we're not going to get into the long story because I have so many other videos that already get into that. Instead, we're going to be a little more upbeat because today's my anniversary. And yeah, I am a badass survivor. I've been there, I've done that, and I've made it out alive. Not only alive, but surviving, rising above the ashes, turning something that was a mess into a beautiful message of healing, health, and hope. And through this, it's an extremely eye-opening experience, you know, when you're laying on death's doorstep, when you know that your life is close to falling apart and you're ready to take your last breath. It becomes this crucial turning point. A turning point when you have that choice to wake up and make some necessary changes. I want to share an inspiring quote by Amelia Earhart. It says, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity." And so you really do need some tenacity to go the long haul, to do what you need to do to start tapering those wicked drugs, to start taking back control of your body and mind, and understand all the pros and cons of medications, especially Cymbalta. So Cymbalta has black box warnings. Cymbalta has killed countless people. There's been many, many lawsuits with Cymbalta. Again, check out the other videos. But in the meanwhile, let's talk about a few things that I've learned from this 8-year recovery process. You don't just get to be a badass on accident. No, you earn it, and I earned every bit of it. So let's talk about this. The number one way that you can recover and regain your health after one or medications take your life and mind hostage, here's some pointers and wellness tips for you. Number one, be willing to try something new. You know, you have to always think about that one saying, if what you're doing isn't working, it's insanity to keep doing what you're doing. It's just pure madness. So if you're taking medications and they're not helping you, if you find that you're having changes in your personality, depression, hostility, aggression, anxiety, insomnia, increased physical pain. You may be having horrific withdrawal symptoms even when you're taking the medications. Understand that the person who can make a big difference is you. Stop looking for everyone else to fix you. Your doctor can't fix you. Your doctor can hand you another prescription. Your doctor probably will prescribe you another drug or more, in which that may not be really the key to wellness. It may not even be part of your healing process. For me, the healing process meant to try something new. That something new was the drugs weren't working. Cymbalta was failing. The other medications that were part of that nightmare were also unsuccessful. It actually caused a severe interaction with my neurotransmitters and my central nervous system. It went haywire. It did cause suicidal ideation, and I was really just an absolute mess, and my life really did spiral out of control. And it was only after surviving that and landing in the hospital that I knew I had this big fork in the road. I had to do something new. And that meant saying goodbye to pharmaceutical medications. Number 2, this will require you to leave your comfort zone. We can never really increase our quality of life and our wellness and our relationships and our dreams and aspirations when we stay inside our comfort zone. Because what happens is when you're inside your comfort zone, you just are kind of doing mediocre, you're just kind of going with the flow, but you may not be actually producing anything positive in your life. You may not be experiencing some wonderful changes, some transformations, personal and professional growth, spiritual growth. There's just so much waiting for you on the outside. When you let go of your comfort zone, you are saying yes. You're saying yes to trying things that are new. You're saying yes to making a breakthrough, to being the change, to decide that, it doesn't matter what's not working. I'm going to focus on something new. I'm going to leave my comfort zone, and I'm going to find a way, whether it takes a day, a month, a year, or a decade, I'm going to find a way to increase my life and to get well. And it's worth it. Let's move on. I think that a key to regaining our health and to reclaiming our emotional wellness is to be open-minded. Being open-minded means that we look outside the box. We don't just look at traditional medicine and stay inside that very, very rigid, small box. Instead, we look outside the box and everything becomes so much larger. Our visions become bigger. Our dreams become so humongous, because now we have the opportunity to do things that we never have thought about in the past. And when we start considering things that we didn't used to practice or that we didn't even know about, say, a year ago, it really widens our horizons. And there's so much positivity in that. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful transformation that can take place when we are open-minded and we start experimenting with something new. And while it may be trial and error, because with holistic approaches and herbal medicine, essential oils, CBD, all kind of things like acupuncture, professional massage therapy, and all these wonderful natural methods, you never know if they will work for you unless you try them. And so when we're open-minded, we're willing to take the risk, and we know we're worth it. Number 4, trust your natural instincts. Everyone's born with a natural instinct. You kind of have this little red antenna inside of you, and it's almost like when something's just not feeling right, it's just feeling like something's wrong, you have this gut intuition that tells you, beware, stop, don't do that, use caution. And so with Cymbalta, when things were really going haywire, I was only taking it for 4 months when I knew I needed to stop that medication, but an abrupt discontinuations unhealthy when you have fibromyalgia, because it will actually aggravate the body and the physical symptoms, in which it will skyrocket and you will be even in 10 times more pain. So there has to be a lot of common sense. You don't just cold turkey, you do a slow taper. Unfortunately, my doctor wasn't willing to do that. That is unfortunate. But the bottom line is that my gut intuition was telling me Cymbalta is not helpful, Cymbalta is hurtful. And then that led me to research it, to discover all of the lawsuits, all of the people who died. There were people who were with the pharmaceutical industry, and they were little guinea pigs who agreed to take the medication and to be part of the FDA research and all of the different protocol to make Cymbalta a drug on the market. You know, there's all this work and testing and real life people who become guinea pigs that are part of this process of this pharmaceutical company getting the approval for Cymbalta. And so what happened was there was a 19-year-old young woman who was desperate to pay her tuition for college. So she signed up to be a little guinea pig for that company, the pharmaceutical company, and she was in their facility, and after they decided to pull the plug on her, so they had her on so many milligrams of Cymbalta, they pulled the plug, and she went into serious withdrawals, depression, suicidal thoughts, and they found her dead. She hung herself in the bathroom, in the shower, with, I think, her, like, I don't know if it was the thing that goes around your waist with pajamas and robes, what have you. Whichever the case it may be, she hung herself. It's extremely heartbreaking. You know, it's super heartbreaking. I know a lot of people who lost their loved ones due to Cymbalta, and it just breaks my heart. And even today, you know, hey, it's bittersweet today because I could have been dead. I mean, I easily could have died. I did, like I say, have an extremely negative experience, negative side effects, wicked withdrawals, and I definitely was suicidal. I did take an overdose, and I didn't die. I mean, basically, it's a grace of God in which I am alive today. It's a big, big eye-opener to realize that we cannot think that we could take drugs and not have anything happen. That with every single pharmaceutical medication, there is a potential for negative side effects, interactions, and even fatalities. Let's move on. Number 5, have courage to ride out the rough times. I guarantee you there will be rough times. Your taper may not be easy, and doctors don't even know how to taper. You know, most doctors won't even do a taper. They just kind of pull the plug on you. That's the way they do it nowadays. You know, their lack of knowledge and lack of caring for their patient and understanding and education, you know, they just kind of want to wash their hands of it. They don't want to lose their license, little malpractice. So they just kind of pull the plug, and patients end up having their lives totally fall apart, in which they become suicidal, homicidal, or both. So it's rough, but you need to have the courage. You need to be a badass. You need to ride it out. You need to do what you need to do to stay afloat, which brings me to number 6. Hope is the number one thing that kept me hanging on. I have hope, and the hope carried me through the turbulent waters when I felt like I was drowning, when I wanted to die, and thank goodness that hope kept me going. And that technically, you know, God is my anchor of hope. You know, it was like he threw me a life preserver, and it was only through him that I was able to hang on to my faith, to hope, and just keep on keeping on. Next is start each day with gratitude. Gratitude is powerful. When we start our day and we give thanks and we say all the things that we're thankful for, and we really, really focus on the positive, it actually has a ripple effect, and it starts brightening our moods. It gives us a more positive attitude. So today, you could be a badass too. You do what you need to do to increase your quality of life and improve your emotional and physical wellness. Feel free to visit me at danaarcuri.com. Have an awesome day.